My name's Steve. I was just having a conversation here with Chad about how some of the things I love about Slaanesh is, you know, like for example, you know, this is a Herald on Steve, but for a Seeker, you know, it's got 14-inch movement, standard. So if you run the Seeker's army, you pick one of the three, you know, you move it over 10, you add an additional 2. Well, now you've got 16 inches. And then you can move 16, advance D6, and then charge. And then if you're within 9 of another Slaanesh hero, so you're probably going to move in advance one of the other ones, you can add 1 to your charge and run rolls, which is ridiculous. You essentially have a possible threat radius of 34 inches, 36 inches if you have a hero nearby. I mean, I've definitely... Seekers are not very competitive right now. They're probably going to hit their target and then die. But I've definitely played a few games where 5 Seekers versus a Wizard is definitely a fun matchup. First actual game I got to play with the Exalted Demon Prince, or Demon of Slaanesh, and that thing was definitely the MVP. Moved 16, charged. Got to spend my command point in the combat phase to attack. Obviously, on my turn, I chose her to attack first, and then with her ability, immediately got to pile in and attack again, which is devastating. With 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s, rend -1 or rend -2, 3 damage apiece. It's absolutely devastating against most things you hit. But send them at big targets. You don't want to send them at troops unless you absolutely need to murder those troops, because depravity points. If you can get enough depravity points by the end of turn 2 to summon another one, or recover yours if it's dead, I can almost tell you if you summon an Exalted Demon of Slaanesh on turn 3 or 4, your opponent's probably just going to pick up and call it a game. Daemonettes are awesome for 9 points a model. They're even super awesome in 40k for 6 points a model. But that's, you know, they've changed. With Wrath and Rapture and the new rule book coming out for them, they definitely changed the way it works. Your unit has to be wholly within 9 inches of a Daemonette or a Slaanesh character to get that bonus. So do not forget that. It is wholly within 9 inches now, instead of just being within 6. So that is it makes it definitely a lot harder to maintain, requiring your opponent to reroll his 6s. I didn't get it the entire game I played. Never even got it once. The new Infernal Enraptress. I was actually quite surprised. I don't think I'd ever just run one. I think if you're going to run her, you probably want to run 2 or 3 and use them to snipe wizards. It's either you'd run Seekers or you'd run them. They do get you depravity points by shooting, which is nice, and they do disrupt wizards, which, I mean, if your army can take wizards, almost every army runs one. So that's, you know, giving them a 24-inch bubble of, hey, I'm within 24 inches of you. You successfully cast that spell, re-roll it. Oh, you rolled doubles. Now take D3 mortal wounds. Ha! That sucks. Sorry. And then you're shooting at that wizard as well. I mean, that's usually, statistically speaking, you're going to do 2 wounds with her 6-shot melody at 18 inches. And it's like 1.75 targeting a character within 3 inches of a friendly unit with the -1. But doing 2 wounds with her, getting 2 depravity, and then them casting a spell and rolling doubles and killing the wizard, I mean, hasn't happened yet for me, but I only played 1 game with her, and I could definitely see it being able to happen fairly easily. I definitely would not put her in close combat. Leave her behind the Daemonettes. Daemonettes. You just need to run 90 of them. You just need to run 90 of them. If you're not running 90 of them, you should be running 120 of them. If you're not running 120 of them, you should just be running 150 of them. They are probably one of the best troops or battle lines I have come across, specifically just for the fact that they're 9 points a model, you get 2 attacks a piece, it's 60 attacks, and their attacks explode. I mean, I've got 22 Daemonettes, only 10 are in close combat, I get 10 attacks. Oh wait, I rolled well, I just got 22 hits out of 20 attacks. What? 5s and 6s exploding is ridiculous. They did that with Seekers too. I don't think I'd ever run 20 Seekers.
Why did the 5s and 6s explode?
If you run 20 or more. 20 or more Daemonettes, they explode on 5s or 6s, otherwise they just explode on 6s, then you get 2 hits. And they gave Seekers the ability to be able to have their attacks explode on 5s and 6s. But you gotta run 20 Seekers. I don't know if I'd ever run 20 Seekers in a single squad. Unless you're trying to wrap a protected and protect something, but that's still it's like 480 points or something ridiculous.
Well, it's not even just that; it's the space they would take up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're not getting ranks for attacks or anything like that.
Yeah, trying to get that many models into close combat, it's kind of ridiculous.
What about the Demon Prince?
I love using the Demon Prince as a feint. It's just that one model. I put him out in front of everybody, and your opponent goes to charge him, because they always charge the thing that's nearest to him. I shouldn't say always, but most players that you play against will charge the one. And they're either going to charge the Demon Prince, or they're going to charge the unit behind the Demon Prince. But if they do that, then they have to go around the Demon Prince and end their move in between that area. And then when they do end up charging, maybe, you give them the relic to be able to pile in and attack 6 inches. Well, then you're going to pile in 6 inches into them, and then they choose their, and then every turn after that, or if they charge them, when they choose to attack the Demon Prince, Demon Prince gets his attacks first. Demon Prince always gets his attacks. Unless he's already attacked, obviously. But his ability for Slaanesh specifically states when an enemy model is chosen to attack within 3 inches of Demon Prince, he gets to immediately pile in an attack. And so putting him up in front, you're just slowing your opponent down. I've seen a lot of tactics where people will put the mask right behind the Demon Prince, just right up there next to him, so they're base to base. And the mask gives a 12-inch aura of half movement. So you go to attack the mask, and the Demon Prince attacks you first. Not necessarily going to save the mask, but it might. With half movement, it's kind of hard.
Does the mask still have the slide aside kind of rule that it used to have?
Is that the one where you roll the dice? So the mask has the ability where at the beginning of the combat phase you roll a dice, and say you roll a 4. When your opponent goes to attack the mask, every single roll of a 4 that they make to hit always misses. So sometimes it's really good. Sometimes you'll roll a 5 or a 6 and your opponent can't score those extra mortal wounds with his executioners, or can't explode attacks. Say you're facing another Slaanesh unit. And sometimes you roll a 1 and it's completely useless. But her ability to half movement for units within 12 does mean that if you keep her behind a unit of Daemonettes, which is one of the most common uses, they can't run away. So you'll get in there behind them, behind her, and now they can't run away, because if you wrap your Daemonettes around the squad, they don't have enough movement to get out of combat. Sometimes I've seen people use Seekers to flank in behind the unit, so then they have to go to the sides, but they don't have enough movement to get around from the sides. The one problem with, I've never played anything else besides Seekers. I haven't tried Pretenders yet. Rerolling ones to hit obviously is very good. But that extra movement, being able to move a unit halfway across the board to be able to hit that character instead of just letting him sit there and fire off his spells or be able to use for his aura abilities. I play against Khorne quite a few times. You able to get rid of that Blood Secrator? I mean, come on. You get rid of your opponent's Blood Secrator against Khorne, and you probably won. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case, but it probably is the case.
So what'd you rate of this army?
I wouldn't say it's absolutely number one, the most competitive, but it'll definitely hold its own. It's a lot of fun. The models are absolutely awesome. I mean, there are a lot of mutated, half women, half male claw monsters. If I had to say, I'd say they'd probably be top 10, but they'd probably be 9 or 10. I don't know if I'd put them any higher, but they can hold their own with the top dogs. And that's, I definitely say give them a shot. Go out there and get that new Wrath and Rapture box and put some models together and have some fun.